This is Denise Dominguez, and I welcome you back to another video where I help women coming out of toxic partnerships and move them past frustration, doubt, and fear so she can confidently enter new and healthy relationships. Yay! And in this video, I'm going to share with you understanding narcissism. Let's get back to the basics. I always say to my clients that you have to understand it to fix it and heal it, right? You got to first start with understanding it. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about in this video. And this is something that I've applied to my life, understanding narcissism when I first discovered after 22 years, actually after 24 years, because 22 years I was in the relationship. 2 years out of the relationship is when I discovered that I was in a narcissistic relationship. But once I applied this understanding, it changed everything in my life, okay? Took all the sting out of it, you know, because I did all of the work around the forgiving and all of that. And so now I am not triggered by not only my ex-narcissistic, my ex-husband, but anybody else who is narcissistic or portrays the similar behaviors as my ex. So welcome back to another video where I help women create healthy relationships. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. I would be so honored if you subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, smash that like button. All right, so let's get into it. Understanding narcissism is, in the beginning, I'm not going to lie to you, it could seem a little complex. But once you break down the information into bite-sized pieces, then it's easily digestible. And that's what I want to give to you today. Okay, so like I said, if you don't know my backstory, I was in a narcissistic relationship for over 20 years and have 2 children with him. And in 2011, that's when I first left him. No. Yes. 2011. And so one thing that I want you to get is narcissistic people are master manipulators. So masterful at manipulating that 3 months of me being in North Carolina, the phone calls came in and basically I packed up everything and all the work that I did to get here to North Carolina, I went back to Florida. So you know how the let's get back together after we broke up goes. About 5 minutes into it, I knew I had made a mistake. But when I got back here to North Carolina and I started to dig deep into my own healing process, and it was a trigger exercise that I did with my coach, my empowerment coach. And through that trigger exercise, I discovered that I was still triggered by my ex and that he was very toxic and narcissistic. So that started the snowball effect to me understanding and diving deep into my own healing about being in a narcissistic abusive relationship for so many years. Okay, so that is the first part of it. First, you need to be aware, like, oh crap, he or she is a narcissist. I was in that relationship and now I need to give it attention, right? You need to give yourself attention. That's the first thing, is that awareness piece. Okay, I was in this abusive relationship. The next thing, after you are aware of the truth, I always call it, like, let's call it what it is. The second thing you need to do is now understand this personality that you have been intertwined with for all these years. Okay, it can be very complex. And let me just give this disclaimer right now. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not any of those things. However, what I am is a healer. And what I do for my clients and what I do for people is I help them heal after the narcissistic experience, the narcissistic abuse, the narcissistic relationship. That's what I do and what I can do. So when I talk about NPD, I'm not talking about it from a standpoint of being a doctor. I don't diagnose anybody. That is not my field at all. Highly respect them, but I just want you to know, like, that is not what I am. What I am is a healer. So my clients come to me after they've been in these relationships. They already know that their ex, husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend was a narcissist. They already know that through their own learnings or maybe even a diagnosis. And then when they come to me, these are the pieces that I fill in for them to move them into the next level of their life, which is to create peace and happiness and have healthy relationships moving forward. Because the one thing that I know without a shadow of a doubt is if you don't complete the past, you'll recreate the past. You'll have these patterns in your life like, oh crap, why is this relationship so familiar? Why am I getting into the same arguments or the same types of fights with a different person? This is a carbon copy of what I was already in. Okay. So there's all these things to narcissism that you really need to know. And that's why diving deep into this is so good for you. The warning signs, I call them the red flags, right? Once you know the warning signs because all narcissists have the same behavior. Everything's about them. They're always right. You're always wrong, right? If you catch them in a lie, they're going to deny it because you're crazy, right? All narcissistic people have the same behaviors. So where's the warning signs? Let's start with that. So that when you're you recognize these warning flags, your alarm's going off and you do not create a relationship or form a relationship with this person, whoever it is, okay? There's also various levels of narcissism. My experience was at first when I dove into my work, into this work, I thought my ex was the grandiose narcissist, the one who's over the top, the one who doesn't respect authority, the one who, just very grandiose. Then I realized after I dug deeper and deeper into my own healing and understanding narcissism that my ex was actually, he was a covert narcissist and an overt narcissist. He had, how lucky am I? I got the whole shawana shebang bang. I got everything in there. So there's different levels of narcissism that you need to understand. And then there's narcissistic traits. Just because somebody is exhibiting narcissistic traits doesn't mean that they are a narcissist. You got to know the difference between the two, right? Because here's the thing. When we have been around these people, narcissistic people, so maybe it was your mom, maybe it was your dad, maybe it was, a coworker, a boss, a spouse, ex-spouse. I was with one for 22 years. Of course I'm going to pick up narcissistic traits. This is a no-brainer. You too. When you're raised by a narcissist, you learn the behaviors from that person. So I want to show you the difference between somebody with narcissistic traits versus somebody who is a full-fledged narcissistic person, okay? And then also, there's this narcissistic lingo that I never knew about and that I now share. There's this lingo, there's this whole separate lingo for narcissistic, in this narcissistic world and the people. There's the gaslighting, there's the discard, there's the smear campaign, there's the love bombing, there's the flying monkeys, there's all this lingo that has a story and a meaning behind it, and that you need to know. This is part of going, let's go back up to the warning signs. This is when you notice somebody gaslighting you, right, which is manipulation. This is a warning sign. This is something that you can end it. Okay. So facts that I want to share with you. Every abusive person is narcissistic. Every person that you know that is abusive, whether that's to animals, humans, to themselves, they are narcissists. Well, let me take that back. Not to themselves, to other people. Because you could be just self-loathing, loathing yourself for deeper issues. But definitely when they abuse animals or other people, they're narcissistic. And 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in her lifetime. Here's another thing that I want you to know about narcissistic abuse. Yes, it is domestic violence. So domestic violence is not only deemed or only the physical part of the abuse. All of the abuse is domestic violence, okay? And domestic violence can negatively impact a woman's mental and physical health over long term. Her children's mental well-being is also at risk for long-term damage. Here's what I know for a fact, and something that I'm also doing a research case study with and going to release in 2020, that there is a direct link between breast cancer, autoimmune diseases, and dis-ease in the body and these abusive relationships. So when you're with somebody for so long, that is narcissistic, abusive, sociopath, any of those, there is a high risk for you to suffer in mental and physical health, okay? Breast cancer and autoimmune disease seem to be like the highest ones when I'm talking about narcissistic abusive relationships. Those seem to be the 2 biggest ones. And it's scary. It can be scary, but it also, the good news is you can learn and you can heal from this. So the thing that I want you to get the most in this video is that how to recognize a narcissist early on so that you don't form a relationship with these people. And that's first by, like I said, first the awareness. Oh crap, there's the truth. I was in a relationship with a narcissist. Okay, now the next step is to understand it. So what I have for you is my webinar that I did called Understanding Narcissism. And I dive deep into the warning signs, the various levels of narcissism, the narcissistic traits versus a narcissistic person, the lingo. So what does the gaslighting mean? What does being discarded mean? What does the smear campaign mean? Has this ever happened to you? And here's the thing. Once you learn all of this, it puts all of the pieces of the puzzle together for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that link in the description below for you to just simply put your email and your name in, and you will get this underlying deeper level of understanding narcissism for you, so that you will no longer, let me repeat, you will no longer find yourself in a painful and hurtful relationship ever again. And I'm excited for you to hear this webinar because I know that it is going to help you and change everything for you. So find out for the next step after you understand it, right? In my videos. So if you like this video, please smash that like button. If you want to hear more about narcissism and how to heal it and get like all of these deeper levels, webinars and stuff like that, then simply hit obviously hit the subscribe button, but also next to it, there's a little bell. If you hit that little bell icon, that is going to give you the notifications when I do these videos. So you won't miss a thing. Okay? Yay! You know, I always share with everybody life after narcissism, and life after narcissism is fucking fantastic. It really is, because once you heal from all of this, that toxic person in your life is going to turn out to be your greatest teacher. And maybe that sounds foreign to you right now, but I promise you that's what it is. My ex is my greatest teacher. And yes, I wrote a book about it, and I've written 2 other books, co-author in 2 other books. And yes, I get to speak on stage and talk to other people and coach men and women all over the world on this. And it's such a huge blessing, because you can do this too. Once you learn about this, whether you want to go on to the level that I am, or whether you want to just keep it, you know, just to books, or even just a conversation with somebody at Starbucks, you're helping the world to recognize this as well. So get excited about that, because that's amazing. That's amazing for you, and that's amazing for the lives that you're going to touch by simply knowing about this. They're calling it an epidemic. I don't think it's an epidemic. I think narcissism has been around for years. It's been around for years. It's just now we're waking up to it. And the truth is now we've put a title to it. We've given it a name, okay? Now we're learning about it. Now we're understanding it. And now we're healing from it. How amazing is that? We're waking up to all of this. So narcissism is not new. You know, they call it a buzzword. It's not new. It just didn't come now. It's been around for years and years and years. We're waking up to acknowledging it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Mwah! I love you so much. And until the next video, talk to you later.